Yes, hello. Good afternoon or good day, everybody. My name is Marek Pärtel. I'm coming from Estonia, and I've been developing EstateGuru last 7 years now. So I'm happy to have you here, and I'm going to talk a little bit about EstateGuru, how we got here, where we are currently, and what are maybe some of the tips I would like to give you for future startup founders or any other partners that might hear this presentation. Shortly then about myself and why I actually I founded EstateGuru in the first place. Being in the real estate business for about 15 years now, I very often come across to situations where I've had a really good projects, but banks have been really slow of giving funding, or sometimes they have been totally reluctant to do so. So I was very often forced to search for alternative funding solutions. And at the same time, when I had exited a successful project, and I was looking for a nice return, but at the same time being passive, maybe looking for a new. Meanwhile, when I was looking for a new property project, just giving the money to the banks and earning around 0% interest rate wasn't really way to go. And then going through the last bigger crisis prior to now, this COVID crisis in 2009, I was able, actually, me and my partner, we were able actually to refinance our property deals in Baltics with the help of private investors. And these private investors, basically, it's kind of the first step towards EstateGuru nowadays business model, because we basically syndicated different investors to a bigger pool, and we were able to buy back our assets from banks. And when in 2013 I met my old friend Julian, who had been working in top banks in US and Zurich and in London for the last 10 years. And I've been working in the real estate sector for quite a long time. We actually accidentally met as he was in Tallinn one night after having a couple of gin and tonics. And then we started to talk about what's going on in the world about this alternative finance space, and he's been following big alternative debt lenders marketplaces like Lending Club, On Deck, and in the UK, LendInvest just started to emerge, started to kick off. And back then there was maybe around 50 bigger models, bigger and smaller models in US and UK, and then we decided that we do something about it, that we start finding the way to build a great marketplace for real estate finance. And basically, after 1 year of building, we became live, and the product from the first stage, it has always been the product for property-backed lending. So we didn't want to go to the equity side. We didn't want to go to the mezzanine side, but we wanted always to find a way to be able to take the first rank security, and also to offer our investors the most securest investment product. So So currently, what's our big vision is we're building the ecosystem. We're building the ecosystem for different market participants, like investors of different size, and also of course our clients, the borrowers. And so basically we're building technologies in different areas, from deal origination, from underwriting to loan servicing and litigation management. For borrowers, we have analyzed that we are about 5 times faster because of our solutions in underwriting side. And for investors, we have currently been able to generate one of the highest yields in the market. Our average return now is around 11.7%. And also we are connecting different service providers to the system in order to be better in different decision-making processes. Like we have integrated several automated valuation providers, of course, a lot of databases in different markets in order to really get the risk right. And obviously very important in today's environment is to have the AML and the KYC layers built into the system, because currently we have around almost 60,000 investors already onboarded, and doing the AML KYC is very important in order to be compliant in front of regulators. So where we currently then stand in terms of our traction, on average we have grown almost 2 times per year. This year is a little bit hit by the COVID situation, but despite of that, we believe that we're going to grow about 40% from the last year, and I think in today's market, when the scale-up company is still growing and without extensive external funding, I think it's a really important thing to say and to be proud of. So and loan volume wise, we have received now about 235 million of investments, and about 1,700 loans have been facilitated. Almost 60,000 investors, as I said, and the annual return 11.7% last 6 years. I think it speaks of itself. And also very important thing to say is that we have currently 0 loss of capital still, and that makes our risk team really competent. So what the future would bring for us, of course, we wanna still keep continuing our growth, and we actually have said that we aiming to reach the 5 billion annual lending volume in 2025. And what would be then the main drivers that would help us to reach our goal? Definitely one is the geographical expansion. We currently have offices in Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, and Finland. We are very close of opening our office in Berlin. We just hired our country manager in Berlin. So we believe that the German market has a lot to offer to our business, and also to take into account also that about 30% of our 60,000 investors are coming from Germany, and they are increasingly a very important community for us and our brand ambassadors. So we also believe that our investors also are helping us to get more deals to the platform. So German market is the next big thing for us. Finland has shown very good growth in the last months, and we should start active marketing in Finland only this month or next month. So we have done already the first deals in Spain and Portugal, also Germany, and basically we have a roadmap and playbook also for these markets. In the UK, we have the license actually from the last year. FCA granted us the crowdfunding license last year already, but because of these Brexit stories that are happening currently, we've been a little bit cautious to see how the market evolves. But at the same time, UK market is the European biggest market in alternative finance, and even the number of real estate brokers of 14,000 brokers in the UK market, it shows that there is a lot of work to be done there, even though it's very competitive. So it's definitely on our map, and we also would be very happy to serve our UK borrowers that might have properties elsewhere in the Europe. So because we're building the cross-border business, so we definitely are very open to the UK market. And then there are several other very interesting markets we are planning to be in the next 5 years. Netherlands, Italy, also Scandinavian markets. Central Europe is also interesting, but I guess we also have to focus what markets we would do, then take the next. So institutional funding is definitely very important for us for the future growth. Currently, about 85-90% of the deals are funded by our retail investor base. But we have been working already more than 2 years with a German bank. We have a credit line from a Warengold Bank, which is very fintech friendly bank, and there's a great cooperation with them. And then we have several family offices, a debt fund based in London, Mayfair, who is investing also already for our deals. And there are several ongoing due diligences going on with the big institutional investors. For retail investors, we would like to say that adding institutional capital to the platform is definitely a good thing also for them, because that would enable us to fund more deals, to even more grow the diversification for our retail investors, so that it's possible to really put the eggs in a different baskets and protect from any potential default. And also for us to have a geographically diversified loan book is very important, because then we are not depending on a single market, and the diversification is something like institutional investors are calling it securitization effect. So that's our goal, and also if there might be any VCs looking this presentation, then our company revenues would come then from two sources. One is from the loan origination and loan servicing sources, and then in some proportion maybe litigation management. But equally important is also having the institutional capital and being able to earn also from the institutional spread. Yes, then it led us to the next important point is the institutional funding, and it's very important to develop these funds. We're also planning to set up a capital markets team in order to more focus on this area. So technology is really important. It's a cornerstone for our business because, as I said, we're not considering ourselves too much as a lending company or peer-to-peer lending company, but we are building the technological solutions for different market participants, and from deal sourcing to scoring to funding and to collections, and this is the area we want to be. In different these areas, we want to be the best and always look for best market standard and practices in order to be efficient and competitive. So what are the main, what is EstateGuru really solving here? We have, yes, analyzed that we are about 5 times faster than banks are in financing SMEs in property-backed lending. And also investors who are looking, maybe want to have more downside risk and do not want to play in a volatile stock markets currently. And they would like to have maybe more long-term and more peaceful investment strategy, then that's the reason why these 60,000 people actually have joined the platform, that having their money diversified between hundreds of different loans and still getting 8 to 12% interest rates. This is something that is really interesting for a lot of investors. Competitive advantage, or where we stand in a competitive advantage in peer-to-peer lending and other maybe crowdfunding, more property related crowdfunding platforms. As said, our main advantage is that we take always the first lien mortgage, or almost always. It's 95% first lien and 5% second lien, but then still the loan to value is below 70%. So while some other players in Europe, they tend to be in the mezzanine market and equity investments. And when the market turns and suffers, then people could lose money much more easily than if they have invested into mortgage-backed loans. Yes, in some UK we have a pretty strong competitors like Lendinvest and LandPay, who's more in the buy-to-let sector. But as we are building the pan-European model for different markets, we see that it's not really a big problem. So why borrowers come to us? Yes, it's the speed and flexibility again, and even in some cases when the interest rates are more higher, even we have seen that borrowers still come back to us because of the ease of making business, and our team is very much into property, and people like to speak the same language rather than go to the bank maybe and talk to some front desk guy who then forwards the information to analytics, who then maybe have some more corridors to visit, and then comes back after 2 months and saying that sorry, the computer said no. So we always would like to fund the deal in 5 to 7 days, most of the cases. Yes, there are 4 loan types currently. What do we cover? Bridging loans, development finance, and business loans. And maybe one important point to take is 41% of our investors are actually referred by other investors. So we don't really do a lot of marketing. We work a lot of with our existing clients, with our referral partners. We have a huge fan group in different social media channels like YouTube or some others. And I guess now the 6 years of track record and the historical results, what we have presented, and the monthly updates, what we sending to our investor base and our partners, I think they speak themselves, and we really very much believe in it's much easier to offer a good service than to repair always things with a PR. And maybe one more point to take is or bring out is that about 2.8% of our loans have gone into default, which is not a very big number. But equally, or even more important is that we have already recovered 50% of the defaulted loans with a total interest of around 10% to our investors. So that means that that also brings 90% of our investors back to the platform and continue the investments and to continue diversifying their investment portfolios. So yeah, the big plan is to still keep on growing and reach the 5 billion annual target or annual volume in 2025 by expanding to new markets across Europe and maybe adding new investment products to the platform. So stay tuned. And what we are offering for our global investors, it's of course the diversification between different markets and countries, different property types. When it's a unique business model, we really haven't seen anybody doing it, and actually it has taken us 7 years to get there where we are. So we are not too much afraid of competition in this sense. Also that it's a big challenge to do so. But even though if there are some players trying to come to the market is big enough, and we think that we continue our growth, not depending on if there are some other players, trying to do property loans in some markets. There are some financials that is maybe not so much important, and this is also more kind of unit economics for VCs. So if there is any VC who wants to talk to us, happy to talk. I can be reached through our webpage. So about the team, a little bit, we have now 45 people in the team. There are people primarily coming from founders coming from property development and also property finance and also property valuations. Our tech team is very diversified from different fintech areas, and our last hires also have been from the banking sector, and it's about 45 people at the moment. We also have backed by Speedinest from 2018, and Startup Wise Guys went through the accelerator. And recent great news is that Gabriela Kindert joined our supervisory board. She's one of the most experienced persons I know in the alternative debt space. And we have big plans what we plan to achieve together. There is also some information of what we are going to do with the Series A money. We already have raised 1 million at Seeders, and we now have some hot negotiations with some other VCs that would like to jump on board. So yes, and this money we would spend in geographical expansion, institutional investors development, and technology. So that's shortly about the deck. I have also I have also some other part I wanted to. There's one question. There's one question. Is it possible that you will acquire competitors? Seems there are many smaller platforms that could be bought to strengthen the concept. Yeah, we have actually analyzed a couple of platforms. I think we are not quite that yet there to start doing the M&A transactions. And but happy to look if you have something in mind. There's always a question of what would be the value add as a result of this kind of transaction. And yeah, it's if the 1 + 1 = 3, then yes, we're happy to look. But very often, you know, integrate some small player to the existing system is maybe it's more hassle and pain than to open this new market with our own playbook and forces. But cases are different. Happy to look, and yeah, you're welcome to send something over to me if there is something you'd like to offer. Yeah. So what else I wanted to tell? Maybe there are a couple of tips. I also wrote down. My marketing manager asked to give some tips also. So maybe one thing I'd like to say is that we have to, maybe there are tips for startup founders that you must really understand it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. It on average takes 10-12 years at least to get to the point where you really could think of you know, doing something else. Then be transparent and understand your clients. So I think this policy that being very transparent of our loan book and our spreading always our news, what we do, and not really hiding our project info is important. Then aligned team. It's very important that we have a common culture. We share the same values. Why the team grows, it's really important that that people are on the same page. We know, I think we have already, out of 45 people, we have, I think, 9 different nationalities, and it's clear, very good that these people actually have a really feel home at EstateGuru, and at least what we have found in our feedback questions. So stretch boundaries. So I mean, to do something, to basically what we're doing, we're building a pan-European financial institution here in EstateGuru, and if we would actually this mindset of building something cross-border and always stretching our knowledge, our experiences, and it's very important to always continuously to grow. No, at first, but also we cannot forget that we're building financial institution here, that we cannot take too much risks. So that keeping this balance is very important. And the last thing what I want to say is that very important to keep yourself up to date with the market, different last market knowledge, and to be able to remain efficient at technology and different solutions and that you could integrate into the system. They're always expanding and always developing. So it's very important always to be up to date, not to one day wake up and see that you have some other company has already passed you, and you are now in the backseat. Okay, but thanks again for coming to listen this webinar, and I hope I see you again someday in some conference or some event, and thanks for listening. Bye.